If you have to put someone on a pedestal, put teachers. They are society's heroes. The duties of a teacher are neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy to the character. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Your heart is slightly bigger than the average human heart, but that's because you're a teacher. Teachers can change lives with just the right mix of chalk and challenges. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Students, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. Teachers have 3 loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first 2 loves together. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. Education doesn't just make us smarter, it makes us whole. Teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching them what counts is best. I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. I like a teacher who gives you something to take home to think about besides homework. I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet, strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. A teacher who is attempting to teach without inspiring the pupil with a desire to learn is hammering on cold iron. Good teachers know how to bring out the best in students. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Change is the end result of all true learning. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. The learning process continues until the day you die. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. They know enough who know how to learn. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without...
Good evening, everybody. Could you please confirm if I'm audible? If I'm audible, could you please put a yes in the chat? All right, okay, thank you. Good evening once again. Thank you all for registering and attending this national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research, which is organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC, and the OBE Committee of St. Mary's College Autonomous Thrissur in association with the Collegiate Education Department, Government of Kerala. Today, we would like to welcome the resource person for our resource person, who is Dr. Sunil Job, Director, Education Research and Development, Marine College Kuttakanam Autonomous, Chief of Academics, IPSS Solutions Limited. And we would like to welcome all the FTP participants of today. Now, about this FTP, this is a one-week FTP program with live sessions from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And this is actually our second day of the FTP. We started yesterday. Now, fee for the LMS access and processing of certificate is rupees 400. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recordings for all the days, and provision to download your FTP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving the certificate will be informed to you towards the end of the FTP. If any of you are yet to make the payment, you can make the payment of rupees 400 to the account details I've already put in the chat. If you are unable to attend any of the live sessions, the recording of the sessions will be available in the LMS. Now, we have shared the LMS access details through emails to those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp till yesterday. Those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp today will receive the LMS access later in the day or by tomorrow. If you have any issues in attending the WebEx online session, you can also attend through the YouTube live session, the link of which I've put in the chat. Now, my name is 𝐬𝐧𝐥𝐢𝐧𝐞. I'm working as Global Relations Manager with 𝐼PSA Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, coming on to today's FTP technical session, the session topic is going to be architecture of OBE and design of outcomes. Now, this is going to be delivered by Dr. 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 𝐾𝐴, who is the Chief of Academic Solutions, 𝐼PSA, is the Director, Education Research and Development, Marine College, Kottayam, Autonomous. Now, Dr. 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 has 30+ years of experience in teaching and 10+ years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Carmel Rani Training College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCTE for grant of recognition and as a resource person for the Affiliation Renewal Committee of MG University. He is an active blogger in cutting-edge technologies in IT, education, and data science. Dr. Job has published many articles in national journals and authored many academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has served as resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently, he is serving as the Associate Professor and Director, Educational Research and Development, Marine College, Kottayam, Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, 𝐼PSA Solutions Limited. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible, Sejal?
Yes, you are.
Audible. Okay, thank you, Sejal, for a wonderful introduction. And actually, this is our second section. And in the previous day, we had some detailed deliberations on Bloom's taxonomy. Actually, in that section, I've just given a clarity on what is the significance of Bloom's taxonomy for an educator. And when we are looking at an outcome-based scenario, how this Bloom's taxonomy will facilitate the real implementation, and effective implementation of outcome-based education. As already discussed, that is something which is very crucial when we are formulating the curriculum in the lines of outcome-based education. And in the second phase, which we have mentioned in the previous days, that while we are interacting with the students, how can you make the interaction outcome-based education? And this will give you a clarity on what are the cohort behavior which is there in the students, and how can you streamline it into that outcome-based scenario through the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy. And obviously, the teaching education, as well as now we know that assessments are going more and more to realistic and authentic. So if you want to make the assessments in that way, there also this outcome-based education is something that will be helping the Bloom's taxonomy. So and also we had a task which has been showcased in our LMS regarding the question paper analysis. So that brings definitely a clarity on this Bloom's taxonomy. And today we'll be going into the outcome-based education, and we'll be just giving you what is the architecture of outcome-based education, and what is the essence, or what you could say the basic principles that lead outcome-based education, and something about because in an outcome-based scenario, definitely outcome is the hero. Obviously, whatever we do, it should be centered around an outcome. Suppose if you're going to prepare a question paper, obviously what comes to your mind is that, okay, where is my syllabus? What is the content that has to be covered in an outcome-based scenario? What is the content that should be covered in the question paper? Obviously, I think that 99% of the teachers still now is working on the question paper in this line only. Actually, that is not the way to go when we come with an outcome-based education. You have to take the outcomes. What are the outcomes for that course? Take the first outcomes and how to ensure that this outcome is met. So what question? The questions are nothing but the indicators that the outcome has met or not. So for preparation of a question paper, it is not mandatory that you go and look into the syllabus part, but you have to look into the outcome part, outcome-based assessment. You are assessing towards the outcome. So the outcome itself makes the clarity into what should be the question asked, about 80%. And what we have to do is that connect that into some real-life situations and the content that you've taught. So that is how the paradigm shift has been happening in the preparation of question paper. Likewise, whatever activity that you perform, it should be outcome based. What is the outcome that I expect from the students after completion of that? And that outcome will be taken as your guiding light. So the end point will be taken to the first point, and we are preparing the activities in that particular line. So all these things are the paradigm shift which we can find in outcome-based scenario. So since this is a workshop just meant for outcome-based education, we have to begin with the 0 level. Okay, I think somebody's I am here. And introduction, let me go into today's presentations. Today we will be going into the architecture of the outcome-based education, because that is essential if you want to formulate the outcome-based education. So it is about formulation, the architecture, what are the components which is being implicit in the outcome-based education, as well as we will be discussing on how to frame an outcome. Obviously, about 90% of us is having this outcome already framed. So, so what is next? We have to make a check on whether these outcomes are self-sufficient. Does it keeps the quality, the quality standards that is needed for an outcome-based education? So that could be evaluated, and if there is a need for refinement, that could be made. So all these things are the major highlights of today's section. So let us go into our presentations. I have few slides as yesterday. I have got few slides that I could share with you. So I think now, obviously, now we have obviously about 250% participants will be there in this platform, and others are viewing from at the live sections, and also those who are not able to participate here due to some inconvenience, they will be getting the things at elements. So there are multiple options which is more compatible for you. You can just have it. So let me share the slide here. I think I'm just I'll just keep the video closed because there is some connectivity issues. So let me close and share the screen. Okay. Okay, Sidin, how is it now? Is my screen visible?
Your screen is visible. Yeah, your slide has come up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So here we can go with the, let me put it in the presentation mode. Okay, now it's this is what we are going to have for today, outcome-based education and assessments. So let me check out the agenda, what we are going to, so what is the menu for today? I would like to put it in that way, because probably after one day's heavy schedule, you would have been there at your home. with this outcome-based education. So keeping relaxed, we should, since it is from home, I would like to put it in this way. What is the menu for today? So this is what you're going to have for today. That is, we'll be answering one question: why and what of OBE? Because that is something that is that intrinsic motivation that will lead you to any activity. So if you know the purpose, why it is significant, that only will take you more closer to that. So we will have some deliberations on that, why and what of OBE. And the other component is that we'll be discussing about the architecture of outcome-based education. That is how this outcome-based education, what is the building block of outcome-based educations, and the upcoming things are the program objectives, graduate attributes, POs, course outcomes. All these are the different components that we could find in that architecture. So some thoughts and reflections could be gathered from each of them. And also the highlight of today's component, this class, will be how to write an outcome-based education. So I'll be just giving a formula for writing the outcome-based education. And together with that, obviously, as I've told at the introductory sections, we have already gone through these outcome-based educations and already have a set of outcomes which has been already formulated. So what next is to have a quality check on what are the quality factors of a good outcome. So you can have a quality check, and so once the quality check is there, obviously if there is a need to make some improvisations on the outcome, you can go with that. So today's task is connecting that, just to check the outcomes, what are the parameters that is needed for check the quality of an outcomes, and if there is a need for improvement, go for that. So these are the something that we will be going to have for today. And since it is an outcome-based education, everything is centered around outcome. So it is our moral responsibility to make the outcome complete in itself. The quality of the outcome is something very essential, because everything will be coming and streamlined to the outcome. So this is very important that you make your outcomes rich, self-explained, self-contained, and that is capable of taking all the activities of the students. So we will go with the first thing of this agenda: what and why of OBE. And obviously, in all the most of my sections, I'm starting from this slide only, because I'm sure that there is no a better slide than this to convince you what is the significance of outcome-based education in this contemporary scenario. Actually, this is a study report, an experimental study which is conducted on professional graduates who have completed. What happens is that this is a study which has been done for an engineering graduates, and actually this is a report that has appeared in an higher education journal, that is Enhancing Education. So it is from that I've taken the slide. So this is what is depicted in that slide. So I want to make this section more interactive. I want some feedbacks from you. So I'm just giving it to you. You can just check out what is the status of students who have passed, not passed, completed a 4-year professional program. So here I'll give you some. Here we have got one x-axis horizontal line going, and that horizontal line has been partitioned by this. And here we have got some students clustered, and here we have got the students who are not successfully completed, in the sense they are not passed, not cleared their all the papers. Those who have got back papers is considered as failed. So this will give you a clarity on what is the pass percentage of the college. So what is your remark regarding the pass percentage? Is it a good or bad? I would like you to, what is the pass percentage there? You can put it in chat. I've just kept my mobile also to monitor the chat, because this is the presentation mode. I will not be able to see the chat from here. Okay, some Venugopal has given some answer. Others also can put so that let us be live. I want you to be with you. Okay, somebody has given 91, 94. Okay, go along. Only two persons are there. We have got 250 on. 91, 91, 91, 91, not good. 91, 91, many 91 is coming. 195 has come. Okay. My question was, what was the pass percentage? So obviously, those who are past this line is considered as passed. So 184 percentage is there, as well as 7 percentage together. Obviously, 91 percentage of the students have passed. 91 percentage of the students have passed. So obviously, for a professional program, for an engineering program, 91 percentage of students clearing this program without any back papers means it's something very good. It's something very, very good. But the thing is that this group is been put into an experimental situation. Experimental situation means that they are provided with some, because all these 4 years, they are prepared for some particular trade. So they are given with some task which is related to the trade which they have been studying for the 4 years. Some trade in the sense, some task which is related to the professional platform which they have been prepared for, something related to the industry. And it is very pathetic to see that only 7% of the students, 7% of the students are able to satisfactorily complete the task which is provided to them. So from the failed students, probably for that experimental case, nobody was able to complete that. And from the past percentage, we could find only 7% excelled as competent persons who have professionally fit to take up any, the task which has been related to the area of the study. So this is the fallacy of the educational system. So considering the academical inputs, that is their academical stuff, okay, they have cleared the examinations. But when they're tested against some professional task which is related to the industry and the trade that they have been prepared for, they are not successful. So what happens is that why they are not successful? They don't have the necessary competencies and skills essential for the successful accomplishment of the task to which they are being prepared for the entire 4 years. So there are many factors. Why? Many questions. So we have tested students against academical progress. Obviously, 91% could clear it, and they are tested in a y-axis against what? Their professional competency to take up the task, and only 7% were able to successfully come out. So what can we interpret from this? This is the fallacy of the education system. Not only that, recently, many of the the CEOs of big companies have very rightly remarked that about 8 to 10% or 7% of the students who are coming out of the universities, that is the technical universities, are employable. And most of them, that is 90 plus, 92 or 93% of the students passing out of the Indian universities are confused graduates. They are not fit enough to directly employ and give them some assignments related to the area of their specializations. So this is something very pathetic. The study was conducted on the basis of their professional fitness. And probably if you take into the other scenario, like their social accountability and all, that is another area for research that we can make. So what is the problem here? The problem is that the students are more concerned regarding the academical stuff. They are not concerned much about, the institutions are not concerned much about enhancing their competencies. So the purpose of the outcome-based education is nothing but we want to take all this red, that is 84%, who have passed but not able to complete the task, and this 9% who have not passed as well as not able to take up the. So we want to take both these area into this green area. So the purpose of the outcome-based education is to make them, if they want to clear the academical stuff, they should be what? Academically sound. And if they want to clear up and make them ready, industry-ready professionals, they have to be, we have to enhance them, nurture them with multiple competencies essential for the success of their professional career or success for their life. So educational system should focus on these two components. One, the domain knowledge, and the other, the set of competencies for a graduate to make a place in the society, to get well with the society, and to get into a career and to progress comfortably in his life. So that is some competencies. So before we were going along horizontal line, giving priority to academics. Now we want both academics as well as the set of competencies should go hand in hand. So we should have a journey like this. That is not a horizontal, not a vertical. We want to make the student progress in an incline to both of them, so that both the knowledge acquisition as well as acquisition of the competencies should go hand in hand, so that they will be able to come to this level where they have got sound domain knowledge as well as they are fit to take up any responsibilities. That is what the outcome-based education is looking for. So what is the additional thing that has come into the play? This is our academical stuff that we have focusing on through our syllabus. And these are the set of competencies which we showcase in the form of what? Program outcomes. Isn't it? What are program outcomes? They are the set of competencies, like communication competencies, competency to work in a team, then competency of problem solving, the competency of critical thinking, the competency to use the new and the latest technologies. Likewise, a number of competencies are essential. So this is what the outcome-based education is looking for. So it is nothing but we want the students to have both these things go hand in hand. So that is what all these PO, PSOs, all these are listed along with the syllabus. So going into this one, outcome-based education, you can just read. So just a statement regarding outcome-based education. If you're finding it difficult to read this, which is given in that red. Isn't it? The outcome-based education is a model of education that deviate. We have made some changes, some paradigm shift, deviates from the traditional focus. What is the traditional focus? On what the institution provide to the students? The traditional focus is that concentrating more on the academical side, not concentrating. That is, we are giving full assertions for getting more distinctions, good like passing. So in favor of making students demonstrate that they know and able to do. So this is what outcome-based education is focusing on. This has got two components. Have you looked into that? The students should know, that is what their domain knowledge, that in the previous slide, we have showcased it as the horizontal axis. And able to do, that is a vertical thing, a set of competencies. So the outcome-based education want the students to know and should make them competent to do whatever things that they confront in their life situations or in the career-based scenario. So that is outcome-based education. So since we are beginning, since our discussions has started from the zero level, I would like to focus. These are the major principles on which the outcome-based education is. Because we want the essence. Obviously, we are all religious, because the essence of religion is what is the values that we should cherish. So if you cherish that, whatever we do will be in accordance with the lines of religion, like that. What is the essence of outcome-based education? If you could conceive that, definitely whatever you do in that line will be outcome-based education. So that is the essence. And sometimes when I go to some sections and say, oh, we want some practices, number of POs or number of COs, how to map this. All these things are some practices, but the essence is what essentially is outcome-based education. What does it serve for? If you are capitalizing the values, that is something most important. Then whatever you do will be outcome-based education. There is no need for an external approval. So take this into mind. What is outcome-based education is that the outcome-based education gives a clarity of focus. What is the clarity of focus? That is, they are bringing the end point. What should be the outcome? Outcome is what we perceive in the end. That outcome is taken as the initial point. So bringing the end into the first layer, and we are making all activities streamlined to the end point. Okay, so just like if you have got an idea on where to go, isn't it? Suppose we are going for a travel. First thing, what is the destination? Okay, we are going to a location into Hyderabad. Okay, so where to reach? What is the end point of the journey, Hyderabad? That is taken as the first thing. And what we do, we will plan how to reach, the best way to reach that particular location according to the purpose of the journey. And we will be planning it to reach there. Isn't it? Just like that. What will be the end of the program? What the students are able to do at the end of the program is being taken first. What the students are capable of do after completing this course, that will be taken first. And we are steering our activities there. So if you just capitalize on that also, isn't it? Suppose we are going for a location, isn't it? Now we have got GPRs. Just like AI system will be guiding us on what all things to do next. Without that, what is there? If there was no GPS, how will you travel and reach a particular destinations? After traveling some distance, we will be inquiring that particular locality. Am I in the correct way? And if they say that, okay, you have made some little mistake, you have to go back, and that is the way, then what you will do? You will make corrections, and we'll make a number of corrections, a number of inquiries till you reach the destinations. That is how we normally do if there is no GPS. So in an outcome-based education, we will be fixing the outcome first, and we will be making a travel like this, and we'll be consulting at every nook and corner whether we are going in the right way. This consultation is nothing but formative evaluation. These are the indicators to ensure that whether the students are going in the right way to the particular outcome. So this is the connection between our outcome and formative evaluation. The same thing, if you're going for a journey, the end point is conceived first, and during the travel, you make consultation that whether you are in the right way. So these are the indicators, and they will say that you have made a wrong direction. You have to go back and take that another turn. Obviously, you will be going back and going like that. So every now and then, you will be making consultations till we reach the destination. The same way, in an outcome-based education, if you want to take the students to the right end point, every time it is your duty to make questions, formative evaluations. It is not to give marks, but to make correction on whether they are, if they are not capitalizing the real essence. Okay, give some examples, correct them, and steer them to the particular destinations. So in an outcome-based education, clarity of focus is there. And second thing is that when there is a clarity on where to reach, then we can eliminate all the unwanted activities from our classroom. So it is just like waste management. I think you have heard about Kaizen's Japanese way of reducing the wasteful energy and making the process more and more productive. Just like that. If there is a clarity on what to do, then you will be performing on that lines so that wasteful efforts could be eliminated. So it brings clarity. And designing down means it is the end point is taken first So all that activities will be planned taking into consideration of the end. So in an outcome-based education, obviously we'll be designing from backwards. For instance, the example, suppose if I want to, myself is staying at Cochin, Fort Cochin. And suppose if I want to go to Delhi, suppose if my flight is at 10 o'clock, obviously, my outcome is that that flight will take up at 10 o'clock. So what I am planning is that I have to reach there at least 1 hour prior for the this check-in. So what I do is that, so I'm calculating the 10 is the takeoff time. So before at 9, at least at 9, I have to reach at the airport. And my house is about 1 hour distance from the airport if I go with a cab. So obviously, so I have to start from home at 9 o'clock. But obviously, morning time will be a little traffic block. So I have to start at least 15 minutes earlier. So I have to go at 7:45. So if I want to go at 7:45 to book the cab at least 10 to 15 minutes, because at that time sometimes the availability will be less. So likewise, I am making a plan, taking into consideration the end point, and I am deciding down. Just like that, in an outcome-based scenario, what is the final outcome? And we are preparing a route map. Route map here is curriculum. For us is curriculum. The route map, so that what are the curricular activities that could be integrated with your teaching learning process, so that by the end of this curriculum, that end point which we have taken as the first point is met. So that is designing down. And the other thing is that high expectations. Probably, I think this is group. Most of you have attended my previous day sections, and there you would have. I have shared one of the comment which is given by Benjamin Bloom. That is, anybody can. Because one important concerns that the teachers, because we go for mentoring throughout covering India in many places, but most of the teachers where we meet, they are of the opinion that, oh, sir, our students are mostly from a very rural background, and probably we will not be able to give that much of stress on them to take them to the higher level of learning like that. So that all are some false conceptions. It is that anybody can learn provided you give them a situation. So in an outcome-based education, we have to provide a situation to the students according to their ability so as to steer them. For that, we have to ensure that there is a connectivity between current knowledge and prior knowledge. The problem of this is that the mismatch between the prior and current knowledge is something that making problems in that direction. And another thing is that expanded opportunities. This is something I got a journal over the Spaddy. The William Spaddy is considered as the father of outcome-based education. According to actually this concept he has published in an article first as in a journal, and in the journal these 4 principles has been very beautifully defined. And there he has said that expanded opportunity in the sense is that we have to evaluate the students not to check that whether he is pass or fail. We want everyone to pass. So if the students are not progressing well, it is according to the same words that you should not make the mark entry of the students with pen. Make the entries with pencil. That means you should give them an opportunity to progress, enhance, and attain at least the minimum target for each outcome. So we should not leave the students without attaining the outcome. So that is, so we for how can we make it? We have to give diverse opportunities to the students. If the students are not couldn't make up in the first attempt, give them some remedial concentrations, and then give them an opportunity in our accreditation process. And all, obviously, one of the most asked questions is that what are the this additional treatment that you give to slow learners as well as enriched learners, etc., etc. So they have to be catered, and we have to take them at least to the benchmark of the outcomes. So that is it. Their expanded opportunities. So this should be made done. And if you're doing it, if you conceive that idea and doing it rightly, then whatever you do is outcome based. There is no because we have taken the end point what the students are capable of doing first, and then we have designed our curriculum accordingly, and we are full confidence in the students that they will capable to attain that, and we are giving them sufficient opportunities and time for them for attainment. Then definitely they will go. So this is the principles, and the other things are all the frameworks, isn't it? Other things, PO, PSOs are all these are frameworks. This is the essence of outcome-based education. So you have to get it done accordingly. And this is something making the outcome-based education authentic, isn't it? In the first slide, what we have shown is that they were successful in getting marks, but they were not successful when they're taken to the social scenario where they are provided with a task to handle with. So the outcome-based education signifies that their potentials has to be increased so that whatever that they find in the outer world, they should be able to train to actualize it from the inner world in the sense from the colleges or institutions. So that is what will my student do out there. Out there means it can be in the workplace or in the society, in the real world of family, okay, work and community, as a result of what we do in here. So there should be an in here and out there connection. So in an outcome-based education, all the activities that we take as a part of our curricular activities should be connected with the real world situations. So whatever you give in here means your curriculum. Whatever you give as a part of the curriculum should be connected with out there. That means real life situations. So very beautifully, in an outcome-based education becomes successful when you are, what you could say, your classes, your interactions, your curriculum becomes connected with the real world scenarios, whether it is in the family, whether it is in the workspace, or whether it is in the community. So this is something very, very important. This factor make them successful. So in here means whatever you give as a part of your curriculum. Out there means it should be realistic. So there should be a bridge between whatever you give as a part of the curriculum and what the realities of the outer world. So this is something very important. So why they are not able to become successful, even if a lion's share of their youthful days are spent for education, why they are not be successful? It is because there is no bridge between the curriculum and real world activities. So that has to be done in an outcome-based education. So now I want to get some inputs from you. So this is the conceived change, the paradigm shift that you can see in an outcome-based education. So this is something traditional. This is not the professor, right? This is the traditional, what you could say, a scholar, and this should be the contemporary scholar should look like. So what is the change, the paradigm shift? You could just put it in chat. I want something to hear from you because there is a virtual distance between us. So I want to make it bridged. So I'm looking at my chat. So what is the change? What is the paradigm shift all about? Put it in chat. I think everybody has left. And no messages coming in the chat. Yeah. More questions are coming, more answers are coming. Let it come. I want to get some inputs from you. So let us collaborate here. The traditional is here. We can see this scholar is there with what a laptop, which is an analog to the latest technologies, creative thinking, time management, yeah, multitasking, multiple skills involved, etc., 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 multi-models, etc. Okay, here we say that in a traditional system, we are considering success on the basis of how much marks that they got from the academic exams, isn't it? They are evaluated on the basis of the marks. But in an outcome-based education, obviously, a holistic approach is there. We want not only marks, but also we want to make them a professional who have got the creative ideas, isn't it? Who are able to evaluate, you are able to evaluate the scenario and take actions, who are compatible in project management scenarios, who are compatible to use the modern medias, technologies, AI, all these things. So this is what a modern scholar, they should be multitaskers. So academic alone is not the point of concern. We are taking into consideration of both the x-axis, which we have pointed in the first slide, and the y-axis, which is a bunch of competencies. Okay, actually, I would like to say one. I got a funny answer when I was discussing with the group. What is the difference? And one person is just for a fun. He said that in the traditional system, the students were not wearing specs, and this guy he is wearing specs. Though it's funny, it has got some relevance because they are tech savvy. They are spending more time with these systems and a lot of things like that, because we are getting converged to these type systems. So obviously, that change can be reflected in their posters as well as in their overall look over. So whatever it may be, though it is a funny, it has got something that could be bring some thoughts to that. So the current education, that is an outcome-based education, want the scholars not only the domain expertise, they should be multitaskers who are innovative enough to engage into the latest technologies, bring into the workspace, improve the productivity like that. They should be like this. So this is the change that is relevant in the contemporary scenario. And this is obviously you would have seen this figure, especially when you're going with the outcome-based education. I've seen this one, this picture hang in the many of the corridors of the educational institutions. Like these are the building block of the outcome-based education. So some explanations I could make on this. So there are some questions which is come, how to calculate the CO attainment. This is the first class. So obviously these are the calculation part all will be coming in the upcoming classes, because this is to set the stage to capitalize. So don't worry, don't be hesitated. You will be getting all these classes there. So here, when we go with an outcome-based scenario, obviously every institution will be having a vision and mission. And vision and mission will be something that decides the modus of operandi of education institutions. And obviously, you could see that an arrow which has been coming down, So this arrow signifies that how the what you could say, how the curriculum is formulated. So for formatting the curriculum, we have just analyzed. We have to design down. That is, the first important thing is that we have to take into consideration of what is the vision and mission of the college. Then we have to consult with the stakeholders and get input from them. What is relevant in the society, in the industry? So we have to set the program educational objective, the only odd man in the outcome-based education. The rest of the things are in the form of outcome. So we have to set the educational objectives in consultation with the stakeholders, the industrial experts, as well as it should also reflect the vision and mission of the institutions. So this should come from top to down. And so these educational objectives are nothing but the immediate goal in the sense what the students should achieve after passing out. When they go out of the institution, what they should able to attain or achieve when they pass out. Obviously, after a graduation program, the most important thing they have to achieve is a career. That is why in the accreditation process and all, we are giving more importance to that. How many students have got placed? The placement statistics has been showcased because whether they have attained. Because one principal educational objective after graduation is that to settle in a career. So that is what. So the program educational objective is that the immediate thing that they have to attain. And what is next? This is program outcomes. Program outcomes are nothing but if the student want to attain certain things, the educational objectives, what are the competencies? What are the competencies they should have? So it is on the basis of the educational objectives, every institution will identify what are the competencies that we should ensure in the student when they pass out. Ensure means we have to come, that is, they should be capable of doing. The competencies are the skill sets which they are capable of doing. So we can identify that the first thing in an outcome-based curriculum formulation is that we have to first set the initial educational goals, which will be the objectives, that will be what the students should achieve when they move out of the institutions. For making them achieve, what are the set of competencies you have to ensure in the students? So this set of competencies, you will be naming it as graduate attribute. For example, if you when the student pass out of the education institution, if you want to get the job, what are the competencies? Obviously, they should have the domain knowledge should be there. They should be able to have the competencies to speak, communicate, critical thinking. Also, a lot of things are there. These are the graduate attributes. But here it is written outcome. A graduate attribute, when it is expressed verbally in the form of what the students are capable of doing, we call it as a program outcomes. Still now, because now we have gone much ahead. The teachers are having more confusion that the graduate attribute is this and program outcome is that. They are differentiating it as to actually the graduate attribute is a bunch of competencies and outcome is literally writing it in the form of what they're capable of doing. Isn't it? For instance, communication skill, communication competence is a graduate attribute. And how can you make it as an outcome? The students show, demonstrate ability to read, write, comprehend, negotiate, etc., etc., etc. This is what they're capable of doing. So the communication skill or communication competence, when they are written verbally in terms of what they're capable of doing, we call it as. So actually, we use both of them interchangeably, isn't it? In the what you could say in NBA for the engineering college, and that's a 12 set of 12 POs. There will be the problem solving. That is what graduate attribute, and that what does program solving means is being expressed in the form of a statement. That is the outcome. So both the program outcomes and graduate attributes are literally the same. So we are deciding from what our vision and mission that has got an impact on what should be the educational goals, and the educational goals will decide what are the program outcomes. And these program outcomes are the end result that we have to ensure in the students. So how will you attain that? This is attained through different courses. Courses means the different subjects you teach them, different activities you provide to them. That is the curriculum. So the curriculum should be so prepared or identified in the lines of this program. So see how it is coming from top to down. When you're developing a curriculum, it is coming from top to down. And how will you make assessments? Assessments will be made from bottom to top. That is, you are not directly assessing program outcome as such. You will be assessing what? Course outcome. How course outcome is assessed? They will be assessed in terms of different activities you give as a part of that course. It can be an exam, it can be an assignment, it can be a seminar, it can be a field trip, it can be preparation of a portfolio, it can be giving a project. A number of activities could be given. And you will be assessing that particular activities for all courses. And on the basis of this performance, you will be calculating what? The CO level attainment. And after calculating the CO level attainment, we have constructed the CO from what? From POs only, the COs is been developed. So on the basis of the CO attainment, we'll be calculating the program level attainment. So for attainment calculation, we'll be going from bottom level to top level. And finally, by the end of the program, you'll be calculating all the program level attainment, to what extent that they have attained these competencies. Isn't it? So this is the architecture of the outcome-based education. And how to calculate and all will be discussed. The metric and the formula for calculating all these things will be discussed in the upcoming sections. So this is the architecture of the formulation, and this is the architecture of the assessment which have to happen. Now we will be going a little more into these components, some reflections on what these components are. So I have just given some explanations on the architecture where we have gone through all these components. Now I am taking all these components specifically. This is the OTMAN, that is the program educational objectives, which we said that this is the only OTMAN, objective, because what does this signify? The program educational objective signifies what the students should achieve when they pass out of the college, isn't it? They have to go in and live in with the society. So what they have to achieve? So obviously the first thing is that they have to settle in life, they have to get a career, or they have to go for higher studies or research or whatever it can be. So it is that, isn't it? What they have to get. So why we say that it is immediate, not for the lifetime. So you can read this. So these are the broad statement that focuses on what the students are expected to achieve within the first few years. What is the significance of first few years? So after leaving the college, definitely the first few years, normally 3 to 4 years or maximum 5 years, what they got from the institutions will have a major influence on what they are capable of doing. Later on, 20 years or something like that, it is not that they have got from the institutions. It is from what they have capitalized from their experiences will make them in the future on. So in an outcome-based education, the educational objectives are set on what they are capable of doing for the first 3 years, because it is from, that is why when we give for a NIRF or something like that, we collect from the alumni about the status of the placement for the first few years, not about 10 to 20 years, isn't it? So it is, obviously, it is what they have gained from the college will be something that have boosted their career in that way in the initial stage. So, I expected in the first few years after completion of the program, and this is estimated using indirect assessments. So, how they flavor, how they progress in their life, in the career space and all should be collected. So, outcome-based education will not stop when the student passes out of the institutions. We have to make a follow-up, at least for first 2 or 3 years, on how they are able to progress in their social metrics, whether they have got a placement. If so, what is the placement? What is the salary package? And you should give feedback from the employers also, how they are progressing. Are they contributing according to their expectations? Whether they need any improvements. So that thing has to be collected. And this feedback should be used for reframing your curriculum. So outcome-based education is obviously a dynamic procedure where every year, we are making the correction factors from the feedback that we collect from the students passing out of the institutions, how they are progressing in their life and career, and on the basis of that, we will be taking the inputs and restructuring the curriculum so that our curriculum that we provide in the college are significant and make them competent to meet the challenges of life and career. So this is an ever evolving. The outcome-based education is an evolving thing that makes them more and more relevant as the time passes. So this is the the topology of an outcome-based education. When the student passes out, getting their what you could say, feedback from them directly, from the peers as well as from the employers, and on the basis of that, the gaps should be identified and the gap should be filled in the curriculum from the upcoming students. So this is the cycle that have to go. This is what has been conceived in an outcome based. So there is no static curriculum. The curriculum should be dynamic, evolving in as if in a cybernetic system. So this is the program outcome. I've just written a dummy outcome. Don't check about the beauty of this. This is what is being prepared from an institutional level. The college have to identify what are the program educational objectives. So I have just stated 3. Graduate will be able to demonstrate competencies and leadership to become what? Professionals. So obviously they have to become a professional. If it is an engineering program, they come in as a student, they pass out as a professional capable of taking any responsibility in the industry connected to their area of expertise. Become a professional or an employee or an entrepreneur. Nowadays, we are giving importance to cross-cutting issues. That is entrepreneurships, gender issues, then sustainability issues. All these things are taken into considerations in the current curriculum. So professional, employees, and entrepreneur. Leading entrepreneur means not for getting into a career, he should be able to make some startups and should be in a position to give employment to few of others. So many others. So either an entrepreneur leading to a successful career. So he should pass out. That is why in most of the, especially in the professional colleges, the college should provide incubation center to support their startups according to the projects and something. So all these things are evolving in the upcoming years. All these things are very important. So or pursue higher education. So their track may be either going out for into a career. 80% or 90% of the students will be trying to pick up with the career, as well as 10% obviously will be going for higher studies or doctoral level studies, etc. So that's one educational outcome. Educational objectives. It can be the graduate will demonstrate commitment towards the preservation of environment and sustainable development of the society. Obviously, when they move out, they have to live as a part of the workspace, as well as a part of the community, as well as the part of environment. So how they can put up the environment, taking into consideration the sustainable values, how can they interact with the society with a social accountable approach. So that should be brought about. So not only the domain knowledge, but also these values has to be inculcated in the students, like sustainable values, the values regarding gender equality, respecting the cultural tolerance. All these things is significant. So all these things should be incorporated into the curriculum, as well as the graduate will pursue lifelong education, in the sense that we will not be able to live a lifetime with what we have collected from our institutions. We have to keep on changing, because especially in the technology frontiers and all, it is not growing, it is just like exploding. So we have to keep on rapport with the latest current trends. Otherwise, we will be outdated. We'll be kicked off from the scenarios. So the students should develop and ability to welcome the positive changes that keep them live and current in the society. So that is lifelong updations of the skills that is essential for the sciences. So we have just got an idea on an outcome-based education. We should have a clear-cut objective on what the students should able to achieve when they leave of the college. So if you want to achieve that, what should be the competencies we should ensure in the students? These competencies are nothing but the graduate attribute. And this graduate attribute, when you are writing it in the form of a statement, what they are capable of doing, it will turn into a program. So normally in an institutions, the program outcome will be prepared by the institutional level. These program outcomes are having a generic nature, which is common to all the program, even if it is a BCom or a BA program of literature or economics, or a BSc program of science, or this BCA. So whatever be the program, there will be some what you want competencies which is essential for all the students, like environment sustainability. It is not for any particular subject. It is relevant for all the students, isn't it? Environment sustainability, social accountability. Everyone has got a social accountability. Communication competence. Everyone should have a communication skill. The communication has got two dimensions. What are the two dimensions? Is that we need language to communicate between us, and every subject is nothing but a language. Every subject has got its own language, which explains what it is. There will be, if you're studying physics, the physics has got its own language, like the terminologies like resistance, electricity, ohms, like that. Mathematics has got its own language, isn't it? Like integration, differentiation, like that. So actually, learning a subject means you are learning the language of the subject, and communicating between is there is a subject, there is a medium to communicate. So the language has got two dimensions into the subject. That is, the language into the subject will give you the subject-wise expertise, and language across the curriculum means the language for communicating. So at a graduation level, everybody should have the language across the curriculum. There is not necessary that you should have the technical language for the particular discipline, isn't it? If it is this what you could say a computer program, it has got its own language and syntax, isn't it? We will say syntax, the programming, the languages, a number of things are connected. What is the algorithm? If you're machine learning, the algorithms, the deep learning architecture. So all these things are the language connected to that particular subject. So language has got two dimensions. One that goes into a subject, which explains the different phenomena connected to that subject. And across means communicating between the subjects. So that language which is common to all is communication between the subject. That is essential for communication competence. Communication competence is something common to every subject, isn't it? Problem solving ability or critical thinking. Critical thinking means connecting the situations to you may have a lot of conceptual knowledge that have gained from the subject, but how to make it applicable? That is, you should have critical thought. How I could connect my learning to this problematic situation to solve it. So critical thinking. All these things are something which is common. So these common things will be in the form of program outcomes. So here it is said that where do we get these program outcomes? The program outcomes are extracted from top to down. When we say is extracted from the educational goals or program educational objectives. So here I have listed one program educational objective. Graduates will be able to demonstrate competencies and leadership to become a professional. employer or entrepreneur leading to a successful career. Suppose if this is your educational goal. So what competency you expect in the students in order for the successful accomplishment of this objective? You can put it. You can put it in chat. Suppose if you want to equip them for a career, what all competencies you think essential for the students? You can put it in chat. The chat is still. Yeah, that is our employability. For employability, what are the competencies you want to instill in them? Suppose if it is a management course, you want to make them a marketing manager or something like that. What competencies you want? Industrial orientation. Okay, domain knowledge will be there. Then adaptability, communication. Good. Yeah, effective communications. Yeah, leadership qualities. So a number of things. Now we got it. So the first thing when we go with that outcome-based education is that identify what are the educational goals. And on the basis of these educational goals, you have to identify a set of competencies that make them accomplish that. So you got how the program outcomes are identified. So here UGC has given a number of competencies listed. So you can select these competencies from this bunch. This is only suggestions. If you want something beyond this, okay, you have got free. So considering the nature of the programs that you are giving as a part of the college activity, you can able to identify that. Not you, the institution should be able to identify. Okay, the disciplinary knowledge, the domain knowledge, the communication skill, the critical thinking, the problem solving ability. If you want interpersonal skills, a number of skills are there. The interpersonal skills are something which is essential for the leadership qualities there. If you want to have cooperation and teamwork, the interpersonal skills are there. So these are the different competencies that you have to ensure in the students. Then only they will be able to achieve. So these are the takeaways. These are something that will fuel the students for the accomplishment of the. So this is the graduate attribute. And graduate attribute, when it is written verbally in the form of statement, what the students are capable of doing, they become a program outcome. And when you come to the what you could say engineering programs, obviously, this outcome-based education has first initiated by NBA and engineering programs. Actually, we are a bit of history regarding this is that we have signed that Washington Accord. We are also a member of the Washington Accord, which has been signed by many developed nations. So what it is there is that the engineering programs of the nations who have signed the Washington Accord, they have to adopt this set of 12 PEOs. So what the advantage is that this is a standardization, global standardization. We are making our engineering program to a global standard. That is, even if you are taking an engineering program from USA, from the other countries, UK, France, like that, those countries who are there in that particular Washington Accord, they have taken this set of outcome as the standardized outcome for the engineering program. So what is the advantage? And they have suggested that all these, what you could say, this country have to adopt outcome-based education, take into consideration of these standardized outcome as the frame of reference. So what is happened is that there is a global standardization. And if the NBA accredits the colleges, those students who are passing from Tier 1 colleges like IITs, which has been accredited by NBA, the students, they can directly go to these institutions, continue their study there without any additional requirement, or they can take up any placements there without any additional qualifications needed. So there is a parity which has been brought. So our quality, and that is why this outcome-based education and this is getting filtered to the other arts and science domain. So the end result of this is that the quality should be enhanced by some bringing clarity to the educational process and to enhance the quality and make them more and more productive. So here we could see that the first 5 outcomes are something to the technical competencies, engineering knowledge, problem solving related to that particular domain, design and development of solutions that is related to the particular domain. If it is computer science, all these things will be related to computer science. If it is civil engineering, all these things will be related. So that is technical capabilities, and these are what common what you could say capabilities. So engineer and society, environment and sustainability, ethics, individual and teamwork, communication, project management, lifelong learning. So these are the generic competencies which will be needed for the entire programs, and these are nothing but the subject specific, trait specific. It will differ, isn't it? So when we coming to an arts and science college, we will be having science group, humanities, management, like different programs will be there, different disciplines will be there. So this will be common to all. So that which is common, we can call it as program outcomes, and that which is specific to any particular program will be program specific outcomes. So at least by the end of the program, every program will be having the common POs and specific PSO, program specific outcomes. So that is the differentiation between PO and PSOs. Okay, so coming to a statement, we can conclude the discussion with a statement. What is this? Program outcomes are nothing but which is generated from graduate attribute written in the form of a program. And what outcome-based education signifies that when the student leave, these points which is highlighted in the PO has to be ensured. So there refers to the graduate attribute that the students, I am not reading this one now, there refers to the graduate attributes which we have already discussed that the student should have at the end of the program. So we have identified the graduate attribute that they have to attain after 4 years of graduation. After 4 years, these are the graduate attributes that they have to attain. So this end is taken first, and we have designed the curriculum according to these graduate attributes. The graduate and we ensure it when the students leave these institutions. So the graduate attributes refers to, I am not reading this, program outcome refers to graduate attributes that the students should have at the end of the program. And what is the nature of the graduate attributes? They will be in the form of knowledge. They will be in the form of skill. They will be in the form of attitude. You can just check out, isn't it? Disciplinary knowledge related to that discipline. Isn't it? Attitude, that means environment, sustainability. These are the ethics. All these things are having an attitude. Skills, communication skills, leadership, teamwork. So all these graduate attributes that you showcase will be either in the form of knowledge or in the form of some attitudes that you have to cherish, isn't it? Or it should be in the form of skills. And this is what we have seen in the previous day, isn't it? Cognitive domain, knowledge. Affective domain, attitude. Psychomotor domain, skill. So these are the 3 pillars of education, isn't it? You are giving them knowledge, you are giving them attitude, and you are giving them skills. So the program outcomes are nothing but what are the skills, what are the attitudes, and what are the knowledge that you have to ensure in the student when they pass out, so that they can successfully flourish in their society, in their career, in the right. So PSO, describes what the graduate for a specific program. I told that the common thing filtered together, we can call it as program, common graduate attribute. And specific is something related to the subject, isn't it? A student of management will be having some specific skills. The student of computer applications will have some specific skill related to computations, isn't it? So specific skills, but they have some common skills which is being needed. So PO and PSOs. And obviously, this is the, what you could say, a chart that could be given to the student together with a mark list. When the student pass out of the education institutions, you are giving them, obviously that is the traditional part. We will be giving them a mark list that showcases what is the percentage of attainment of the students in different subjects that they have studied. But now we are not considering the subjects alone. We are considering the competencies. In the first slide, just recollect it. X-axis, subject, mark list we are giving. But the y-axis, set of competencies, which we have showcased as program outcomes in the previous slide. Program outcomes are the set of competencies and to what extent that they have attained these competencies. So an outcome-based education has got two-level assessments. One, assessments against their, okay, that is the traditional assessments. And assessment against what? The competency level attained. And obviously, if you are able to make a matured assessment system, you will be able to calibrate the level of attainment of their domain knowledge, communication competence, proficiency in using modern. So I'm currently I am working as the director of educational research and development at Marine College, Kuttagam. This is our graduate attributes or the POs that we are having there. And so for every student, when they pass out, we are giving them a certificate, an outcome-based certificate that showcases to what level that these programs has. So what is this? So this is a 4-point scale which starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. So the maximum that they could attain is 3. So out of 3, they have got a 2.3 level. 2.3 level in the sense about 70% plus. 21. 2.1 is 70%. Maximum 3, 2.1 is 70%. 2.7 is 90%. 2.4 is 60%, like that. So maximum is 3. So the domain knowledge, okay, he has got 2.3. Communication competence, just 1.8, that just a 60% level. Okay. So for every students, you will be giving what is their subject mark, and when you come to an outcome-based scenario, you can calibrate what is their this outcome level, not a program outcome level attained, like this. And if it is, if you're finding that this is not true, putting 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, it is not for a grading pattern. If you want a grading pattern, you can make benchmark. Okay, we need at least 50% to say that the student has got moderate attainment. 70% and above, you can say that, okay, they have got a high level attainment. So you can make a heat map like this: high achiever, moderate, or low. Low means they have not attained. If you are setting the benchmark as 50%, okay, less than 50% is low attainment, and they have not attained the. So in an outcome-based education, we will not leave the student unattained. It is our responsibility that they have attained that. When they leave, they have attained that outcome. So how will you ensure it? There should be periodical assessments to ensure that whether they are going in the right track. Just like when you're going to a place, every time you will ask every junction whether you are in the right track. If it is not, we'll go back and take the right choice. Like this asking process in the education scenario is nothing but the formative evaluation, not for giving marks, but for correcting them and taking them to the real destinations. So this is the chart that you can prepare. But the thing is that this, if you are able to give it like this, definitely this will be like an authentic profile to the student. You are monitoring the student continuously and comprehensively for about 4 years, and you are giving that they are this much at a level of accomplishment in their competencies. So if they're taking to a what you can say an employer, this is because if you're preparing a resume, you will be creating what the students will be creating. They will showcasing their competencies from their own perspective, their own evaluation. But when you are giving it, this has got more value. This has got more value. You are stamping the student that they have got such and such competency. You have evaluated them closely for about 4 years. And this green is if they have got more than 70%. 70%, so means 2.1. 2.1 and above. Okay, green. 2.1 and above, 2.1 and above. 2.1 means 70%. Between 2.1 and 1.5 is moderate. So, okay. So these are moderate. And below 1.5 is underachieved. So we want everyone to go beyond that. So you can express it in quantitative form or you can express it in qualitative form. So you can give a color or you can say grade, A grade, B grade, C grade. We have got multiple grades. This is only 3. So we can give A, B, C. If you are giving multiple A plus, etc., that could be given. Whatever it may be, it is all grading system that is there according to your convenience. So I'm just making it more clear that if your assessment system is not mature itself, what happens is that, okay, if your communication skill, if you're instead of 1.8, you are giving 2.8. So maximum is 3, 2.8 means this guy is having a very good communication skill. And if the employer is looking for a public relation officer or a person for marketing, definitely the most wanted competency will be communication skill. So definitely they will be employing him. And what happens is that if this guy is not able to write a single sentence flawless, if there are 10 mistakes in one sentence, and if they're not able to make what you could say official correspondence in the right way, if you're not able to make a lot of mistakes, then what happens? You have evaluated them as 2.8 out of 3, but he is not even fit to make if you are not able to write a leave letter correctly, who will be considered? It will not affect the student, only it will backfire in the college. Okay, they will come with the different types of attainment entities of, you will be blacklisted. So so this is some evaluation. The most important thing for an evaluation is it should have validity. Validity means it should assess what it intends to assess. If you go to a grocery shop and buy 1 kilo of sugar, okay, 1 kilo of sugar, and you came home and you reweighed it from your source, and you found that it is only 700 grams. What will be your impression? The same impression will be there for this employer. He will no more go there, and sometimes he may go to the consumer court for making such things. So for the time being, if the system is not that much mature to make a valid assessment, what we do is that we keep it as a document to access whether the students are going according to this. And after getting feedback from the students who have passed out, you can make a comparison with this is what you have valued. And when the students go out, what is the reality? If what you estimated on reality is going closer, then definitely you can. So all of a sudden, if you just giving it, definitely sometimes it may backfire. So in an outcome-based education, the students who are going with your assessments, when they're going in reality, these are something how they are able to progress. If there is a gap between this, isn't it? Whatever you have evaluated and whatever they are performing, if there is a big gap, then you have to revisit your assessment process and make it flawless. So that is something very important. Anyhow, whatever it may be, By the end of the program, in an outcome-based assessment, we'll be assessing every students on the basis of to what extent that they have attained the program outcomes that you have initialized at the first level. So that is the assessments. And going to the course outcome. So this is both the program outcome and program educational objectives are calculated, are formulated, not calculated, formulated from the institution level. But for the course, every teachers who are handling the course has got the obligation or responsibility to write the course outcome by their own. So now we already have, actually the real process is that identify the outcome and go for the curriculum syllabus. But we already have the syllabus. We are going with the reverse process. So from the syllabus, how will you filter out the outcome? That is our concerns. So for that, what we do? Just ask a question. Isn't it? The course outcomes are the resultant knowledge and skills that the students have at the end of the course. Suppose we are given a program to teach. Not a program, a course to teach, a subject to teach. The first thing is that identify what the students will be capable of doing after completing the entire course or teaching the entire modules of the paper. What will be the final end? That end is taken first. That is the course outcome. What the students are capable of doing, that is the output. Output is taken as the first phase, as at the entry level input, and planning everything according to this one. That is the course outcome. So for that, how will you write the course outcome? Isn't it? There are two ways of writing. We have our courses arranged in different modules or units. Probably 3, 4, 5 units will be there. So you can take one unit and you can just identify. You can just identify what are the content in that unit or module, and you can ask a question to yourself, because for your subject, you are the resource person. You are the king. I will say that you are the king. You can just ask that question. After myself teaching this subject, what are the things that the students capable of doing? Whether you are giving a conceptual level, okay, they will be able to summarize the thing and illustrate, or they will be able to apply this thing in some relevant situations, or whether they can go little more higher. What is apply? All these things I'm taking from the Bloom's taxonomy, isn't it? So you have to judge what is the level, what is the possibility of the course, and what is the level that you can take the students and make it. So that thing you can write it in terms of outcome. So ask the question, what the students are capable of doing, will be getting an answer. Frame that answer in the format which we will be discussing at the next slide. So whatever it may be, before starting the program, you have to identify what the students are capable of doing after completing the entire program. That is the program outcome which we have already decided. Before starting the course, what the students are capable of doing on completion of this course, they are identified and taken to first. And further, when you go to a class for teaching a topic, ask the same question. What the students are capable of doing after this class. So you'll be getting what is your intentions and what the students are able to do. And make sure that the students have attained that. How will you make sure? Through formative assessment, asking questions or giving some activities. Indicators. That is how you are making sure. Because this is the first class, I'm not drilling deeper into how you are making the things done. So the course outcomes are major domain specific. That is related to the topic that you are teaching. Domain specific, which is written using action verb. It is the action verb which is the highlighter on to what extent that you are taking the student in the educational ladder. In the previous segment, I've told that learning is something that progresses from simple to higher level, complex, direct to abstract. So to what level you are taking the students. So it is the action verb which is implicit in the, what you could say, outcome will give you an idea on what is the level of learning that you are going to take the students to. So a outcome should we have an action verb, which is usually measurable, specific, measurable, and can be demonstrated by the student on completion of the course. So this is something. The verb that you're using should be observable, because you need an indicator whether that is attained. That is attained. So this is something very. So these verbs, you can take it from the Bloom's taxonomy. Suppose if I say the students will be able to list, what is the activity we are expecting from the student? List something, isn't it? List the parts of the diagram. List. Or you are expecting the students to explain the concept. You are expecting the students to apply the concept to solve the problem. So this is the outcome that you are focusing. So this is the formula for writing that particular outcome. What is specialty here? This has got two components. Action verb. This is why we have prioritized what Bloom's taxonomy. Action verb together with the learning state. Action verb will showcase to what height you are taking your learning experiences. And this is the topic to which you are teaching. I'm handling one paper at Marine College there, operation research. Isn't it? So I have just taking that operation research is something, obviously you will be knowing different optimization techniques. That is, it is dealing with the different operations in a system. Can be an industry. What are the different operations in the system, and how to identify an optimum operations to maximize the profit or minimize the cost or something like that. Actually, that is the focus of operation research. Making a research on to identify an optimum operations that could maximize their productivity. So for this, what we do is that we have to create a model. So every nature of operations will be having different models. Then extract the solutions from the model, validate it, and apply it in the industry. So this is the use case of the operational research. So here I have placed the outcome like that. That is what the student should be capable of doing. Appraise. Appraise is something which is coming at the 5th level, evaluate level. Appraise what? Effectiveness. Appraising means not appraise optimization technique, effectiveness of optimization technique. So suppose if I giving the a scenario. So what optimization technique is rightly fit into that particular scenario? Whether it is a simplex method, whether it is an integer programming, whether it is a dynamic programming, whether it is something related to a game situations or whatever it may be. Identifying the situations and identifying the optimizations. If there are 2 or more optimization technique that could be adopted, then which technique is most effective? That is evaluate. So appraise. What? Optimization technique is the learning part. Effectiveness of the different optimization technique, and I have made a delimitation. What is the delimitation? In the industrial scenario. So optimization technique can be applied in any parts of the life. So if I'm using this, appraise the effectiveness of optimization technique, I have to go for the industrial scenario, the business scenario, the educational scenario, whatever different scenario I can go. I've delimited into a business case, industrial scenario. So optimization techniques which is related to industrial scenario. So we have got 3 things: action verb, the content or topic, or the context to which it could be delimited. So the CEO can have a minimum of 2 components, or it can have 3 components. And if you are concerned about the accuracy also, the 4th component also could be with accuracy you can add. So this is the format and formula for writing and output. So what is the advantage? By reading this outcome, appraise the effectiveness of optimization technique in the industry. So here, this part will be showcasing on to what high you are taking the students in their learning ladder. You're taking them. So if you want to reach the appraised level, first you should give them what? The conceptual knowledge there. Isn't it? Conceptual knowledge. That is K2 level. Then you have to further enhance them to an application, how to apply each model, how to apply them. Isn't it? Then I have to go to the higher level, analyze. And if you want to analyze, I have to give them opportunities to identify the scenario and try with the different optimization technique. And above that is appraising. So I have to take them a long way from the basic concept to an competency, a mastery, where they are able to identify which is the best technique on the basis of their evaluation. So this is how we have to write. So they have got two components, etc. One verb and the other learning statement clubbed together. And actually, I was thinking to give you an exercise to write an outcome for a self-evaluation, but since this is a virtual platform, it is not compatible. So while you are writing an outcome, I will say that it is a good practice. That means it is not a wrong practice, it is a good practice. Avoid these following rules. Suppose because the outcome should be specific and observable. Outcome should showcase what the students are capable of doing. Underline that, capable of doing. Suppose if I say that the student understands something, understands will not showcase what the students are capable of doing. Suppose if I frame it as, if I understand what will happen, I will be able to explain it. So outcome should be written in that form. Explains, summarize. So when writing that outcome, you have to identify those action verbs which indicate what the students are capable of doing, especially at the lower level. The outcome can happen at the higher level, means program level. These program level outcomes are not directly assessed. So you can use some words like understand, appreciated, etc. But coming to the grassroots level, you have to write the outcome, the primary action verb of an outcome, in such a way that it is observable. So it is a good practice to avoid. I don't say that it is a wrong practice, because I've seen that many colleges have, when we go with the CEOs, they are writing it to understand, familiarize. Such terms are there. Obviously, all these things are just for them to, or the entire outcome-based system is a directional thing that will direct us in the right way. Okay, for the purpose of that, it is okay. But when you are going for estimation, if you want to have the clear-cut indicator, then these outcomes should itself reflect what the students are capable of doing. Then only you will be able to identify whether they are doing accordingly. So in this slide, it is better to avoid this, because to understand, do not say what they are capable of doing. On understanding, they can do many things, but specific. The outcome should be specific, observable, and measurable. Appreciate. If you use this by looking at the student, you will not be able to see how we appreciate it, isn't it? To know, to likewise to study. So the outcome should be like that. So I will just give you this. I'm going to take a class in democracy. I can write the outcomes there. The students will understand democracy. We do not correctly point out what the students are capable of doing. What they're capable of doing. If they understand, they can shake their head. That is not satisfying, isn't it? If I write the same thing, the students describe, explains major theories of democracy, of major principles of democracy. This is what they are able to do. That is showcased. The students will study about the impact of cultural diversities on nursing. Study, it is vague, but what they are able to do, they are able to evaluate the impact of cultural diversity on nursing care. That is what. So here there is an observable work part, and this is taken from Bloom's taxonomy. So you can just say describe is a K2 level, conceptual level. Evaluate means K5 level. So by looking at the outcome, you are able to identify to what level you are taking the students in the educational data. The students will learn about. It is not expressing what the students are capable of doing on learning. So they will be able to explain. They will be able to describe, summarize, illustrate the principles of drug formations and delivery system. So this is how the outcomes. So the difference is that this got a visibility on what the students are able to do, and this has got this. Actually, both of them are in the same lines, but this lack visibility, isn't it? This got a clear visibility on what the students are capable of doing. And now we already have outcomes, which is already done. So just suggesting for quality check for a good outcome. So outcome is what the students are capable of doing. So while reading the statement should depict what the students are capable of doing. It is not what the teacher wish, but what the teacher wish is objective. But what the students are capable of doing is, are they written using action verb? Are they written using action verb to specify definite and observable behavior? Definite and observable behavior. Observable, explain, is understand, not observable. Evaluating, observable, isn't it? So whether it is written using the action verb, which is observable. Second, does the language describe students' target rather than teachers' behavior? Okay, the complete the syllabus, or what is my objective to complete the syllabus, or to make them learn. But what the students are capable of doing, the same thing you have to actually. Objective and outcome are just like two sides of the same coin. One looking it from the point of view of the teachers, what the teachers wish, and other looking from the student's point, what they are capable of doing. So outcome should be verbally framed in such a way that it really explains what the students are capable of doing. And the third thing is that, do the outcome clearly describe either the ability or the knowledge and the value the student of the course. So in the previous statement, appraise what? The effectiveness of optimization techniques. That is the learning part. Whether the learning part is beautifully blended into your outcome, or the attitude that you wish to bring in the students are blended into the outcome. So that is something very important. Suppose if you're teaching OBS law, I'm first class. What I would like to do is that to write an outcome in the sense, isn't it? The students want to explain OBS law. That means after the class, I want the students only at that level, or apply that OBS law and find the resistance or the current flow. So apply. So we are connecting the outcome. The learning part also should be explained. And is it possible to collect accurate and reliable data? So in an outcome-based education, just like we are going for a drive to an unknown location, we know the destination where to go, and we don't have the GPS with us. So every now and then we have to make what? Collect accurate and reliable data. How? Through formative assessments. That is the formative assessment. Whether the students are going in the right track. That is by the end of the program or end of the course, whether they will be reaching there. That has to be assessed. So this data indicator can be some types of questions or some types of activities that you could give to the students. And on their performance will make you the reflections of whether they are in the right. If all these four statements are met, then the outcome is a good outcome. So these are some of the examples which I use when we. So this is from physics. Apply. That in red is the verb, action verbs, and that is why Bloom's taxonomy is showcased with that prior. Apply what? The law of physics to compute different. So this is the action verb, and what is that? Law of physics. Probably, if you want to eliminate this Hooke's law to compute different types of stress or deformations in the given material. So what is that? This is the level, apply level. You're going to take the student to the K4 level. And what is the learning statement? Combined together, isn't it? Analyze. This is third level, K3 level. This is K4 level. What? The structural elements of the course. Here, explain K2 level. What? Principles of organization. So in a management class, I'm going to take class 1, principles of organization. What will be my intended outcome? Will be, I want the students to explain the things about the principles. So this is some of the examples that we could have for that. And we have got a task which is showcased in the LMS. The task is quite simple. Task questions. Okay, this is we didn't talk about mapping, so that was not the task. Let me take it here. Task 2. Okay, this is the task. So I'm taking only 2 sections. I'm not going for the other one, mapping, calculations, and all will be coming in the upcoming sections. So that is the task related to that particular area. Here we this is the course title. You can write, give the course title, the program name, and the discipline that you have, whether it is science or arts or whatever it may be. The program name. Then obviously you can have the outcomes written here. Probably for a course, normally asked questions is that how many outcomes should be there. It depends upon, but there is no need to go for 10 or 15 outcomes. An optimum and advisable level is that you can have an outcome up to about 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, according to the compatibility of the course that you're handling. And the program, obviously, it can go from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. So it all depends. So here the thing is that our concern is that there are 4 criteria. Write the outcome, and if this criteria is met, you can put S. S, S, S. The criteria is showcased here. If all the 4 criteria are met, that means, isn't it, the quality percentage is 100. If only 3 is met, the quality percentage is 3/4, that is 75. Only 2, I think more than 2 will be always there, isn't it? If it is only 2, only 50%. If it is 1, so every check will give you a 25% increment, isn't it? So you can just check and identify what is the quality percentage of an outcome and whether that outcome needs an improvement. So you'll be wondering, what is the level? What is the level that prompted me to improve that? I say that anything below 100. Anything below 100 means. So this is a self-check on the outcome, whether it is structurally correct, everything is there. Because for your course, outcome is the hero. Outcome is the hero. And when we are going to the assessment, you are preparing questions not by looking at the syllabus. You have to prepare the questions by looking at the outcome. The outcome is just like a catalog. Now, we when you are going to this new educational policy 2020, the key the highlight of the 2020, it is giving autonomy to the institutions, autonomy to the teachers, and autonomy to the students. The students are giving autonomy to, for multidisciplinary study. They can have any combinations, 1 major, 3 minor, whatever it may, any combinations. They can have their own path. They can study for 1 year, leave, come back, multiple entry and exit. So there is a lot of autonomy. And there is no need to study the entire program from a single college. They can adopt different courses from different colleges, from online platforms, and add them to, we know that Academic Credit Bank, ABC. And when the credit gets matured, they will be getting certificates. So in the coming days, the quality is not decided institutional wise. The quality will be decided from the course wise, not the program wise too. So a student can come and register and take few courses from your college. So how will you select the college? It is from the outcomes. The outcomes showcase what they will gain by taking your course. And you can have some expertise courses. The expertise courses, according to, isn't it, your expertise level courses could be there. And it could be distributed to the larger community, pan-India or global community through online platforms. Now we have got digital pedagogies and online platforms are very. So outcome is that, obviously, if you're going to buy a product, what are the product specifications? The outcomes will serve for that, what they're going to gain. And the thing is that this should be realistic. That is, the students will be writing review also regarding these outcomes. So if you are showcasing very high outcomes, and the review is that it is only in the paper, nothing has been happening, then that will backfire, because now everything is transparent. Transparency is the mark of the digital. So nothing cannot be concealed. Nothing can be kept concealed. Everything is transparent. So we have to go with the time. So most important thing is that for a course, the outcomes should stand. So though we have created outcome, ensure that the outcome speaks what the students are capable of. So that's all for my section. I was wondering whether I will go beyond. Last day I made to sit more time. Sorry if I have taken more time. So Sejal, over to you. If there is any queries that could be taken, we can have it.
All right. Thank you very much, Sunil Job, sir, for that wonderful session. We have also put the feedback form in the chat. You can actually click on that and fill the feedback form. If you have any questions, please put that in the chat. Dr. Sunil Job, sir, will take it now.
How frequent we need to change the vision and mission? Don't go and change the vision and mission. It is the institutions. That is something which will be set. We cannot change the vision and mission now and then. That will be there, which decide the modus of operandi of the institution. And the change will be happening on what the curriculum that you provide for actualizations of the program outcomes. And when there is changes in the society, obviously that should be reflected in the curriculum. So the curriculum should be revised. And if there is for revision of the curriculum, we can make some updates in our what should be the students are capable of doing. We can include if there is any change in the POs, if the institutions are willing, they can make it. But from the course level itself, they should be changed, especially on the outcome as well as on what we give to the students in the form of outcomes. So direct.
Okay, good.
How much weightage we are giving to indirect? I didn't say about direct and indirect assessments but still, once the question is posed, I will just give some reflections. Because in an outcome-based educations, we after every course, there should be a course exit survey, and the weightage could be given for an indirect assessments 10, and for the direct assessment that we are taking directly as 90, 20 or 80. It all depends upon the decisions of the academic council. And for every courses, you have to take this. And by the end of the program also, we have a direct and indirect assessments. That is the course program exit survey. And also you can include inputs from the other stakeholders to which they have interacted, and that could be also integrated. Because I didn't explain about that, so that I think in the section of mentors, sir, you'll be explaining. So I think that's, since you have posed a question, I just answer. Can we use verb discuss? Obviously, suppose if you want to, the set of verbs will be available there with this. The discussion is discuss is a verb that it comes at application, application level. So that could be used. In 12 POs are enough for particular program. Why should we design PSOs? If you're mentioning from the what you could say, that's engineering course, the first 5 programs PO are subject specific. That is engineering subject specific. If it is computer science, the first thing, the engineering knowledge, then problem solving related to the particular is equivalent to PSO. And the other from 6 to 12 is generic, like engineer and society, and environment sustainability up to lifelong learning. All these things are generic. So though it is not specifically said PO and PSO, both are combined together. Actually, PO and PSO both are program exit outcomes. PO are considered as common and PSO are considered as specific. That means if you're taking many programs together, these programs will have some common, which is showcased as PO, and specific is showcased. If you want to take it together, okay, there is no issue. Whatever it may be, PO and PSO are program exit outcomes. What is quality criteria? How it is measured? So measurement, and because quality criteria measurement is something we are assigning a numerical quantity to what we are assessing. So how we can assign a quantification, a value or a measure to that what we are assessing will be discussed in the upcoming sections, because this is the holistic section which I have gone through, the architecture. So further drilling in that will be explained. So no issues. Yeah, it is not for 5 to 6. Already you will be having outcomes written for your course. If the course is having 4 outcomes, that 4 outcomes and check whether the all the criteria is been met. It is not 4 levels. There are 4 criteria which is already showcased while in my presentation, and it is also written below that particular task. So your duty is that whether the outcome satisfies the first criteria, second criteria, third criteria, fourth criteria, just to have some analysis and reflections regarding your outcomes and criteria. So just to enhance your acquaintance and your thoughts regarding the outcomes that you are trying to bring in the student. That's it. How frequently we need to change the syllabus? The frequency is not the matter of concern. The thing is that you want your content and curriculum in rapport with what is happening in the industry. That is what in one of the slide. In here, what is happening in here, your curriculum should correspond to what is happening out there. So to make it happen, you are revising. So it is not the number of changes or frequency that counts. It is the quality that counts. Actually, which has said first. Already, actually, now what is happening is that we are already having the courses and programs which is already in track. So what we are doing is that we are trying to give a outcome-based envelope to that. So already the course is there. So we are putting the outcome format, and we are trying to improvise it into courses. But the real formulation should begin from PO, PS, CS, course outcomes should be identified, and go and select those content that what should be activities justification of lifelong learning. Oh, of course, you that's a very I like that question. What is lifelong learning? That is what makes him that is, suppose you are making an engineering program. If the students are attending your classes and they're going side by side and they are making some certification programs, what does it signify? They want to keep abreast with something out of the class, beyond the class, isn't it? So their additional efforts, what all things that they take, is an indication that they will keep in track, isn't it? So there are a number of things like that. So your expertise will able to understand. I'm told the number of COs, there is 4 or 5, 5 to 6 is an optimum one, because all these COs should be mapped to the corresponding POs, and you have to calculate all the CO level attainment, and from the CO level attainment you have to map to the program level attainment. I'm not detailing about how to map it for the AICT program outcomes. Each PO is divided into a set of competencies, and each competencies is divided into a set of indicators, and each CO should be connected into that indicators. So program 1 dot, what is the competency? 203, third dot, what indicator? It is a complicated thing, so I'm not explaining it right now. In the upcoming classes, you can go and go with it.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, I told that if it is in the your LMS, there is a forum which has been running, and you can also post your doubts there. Because all of you are good experts, and we have got a lot of training and exposure on outcome-based education. So sharing and collaborating will make us grow. So don't keep the knowledge to yourself. The knowledge will grow only when we share. So take that platform for that cause, and hope you will have a very good experiences and upcoming sections. What is happening in the Western countries? How we can get easy this process through generative AI. What is the ethical use of generative AI? All these things will come up in the upcoming sections, and particularly assessments. And we have got some prototype, what I could say, the tools. I have created one Excel tool and showcased in that LMS. That is what I've just shown in, created in Excel, going the threshold, then that target, all these things. That will be explained, and you can access it. Anyhow, you will really have very good experiences, and this engagements with the OBE. There is a lot of articles also, white paper. I've written a white paper, and it is showcased there. So it's worth a reading, because nothing is there which is I have. It will add value to your journey. So you can refer all these things. So I think there is nothing much to come. I think the time has gone beyond 9. So sorry that I've taken more for 5 minutes. So have a good learning and have a better implementation of outcome-based education. So this will definitely enhance your professional competency, as well as you will be showing justice to students by enhancing the quality and behavior. Correct. So enjoy learning and have a pleasant evening. Good night. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much, sir. Please note, everybody, tomorrow we have a session. The session will be on OBE, Canadian Experience by Dr. Thomas Burgess. Please join in for that as well. It will be at 7 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for joining in today as well. We will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. sharp. Thank you, everyone. Have a pleasant evening.